Check, check, check. Mic check one. Either one, headphones are better. I sent it over to you. I'm going to start, or maybe I did start. I'm just sitting here live goofily. Let me see. I should be on. This is compelling audio, video for people. Oh, cool. And even people are watching me do nothing. That's exciting. Okay, go ahead and hop on. I'm going to start playing, and I will see you in a moment. All right, here we go. Guest Lisa joins me. Wait, let me see. And I gotta get back to the game, and then we're gonna do this. Wait, can you hear me? Can you see me? Hey, do you have video? Lisa, hello. I see your name. I do not see you or hear you. And, oh well. I'm gonna play. Keep trying to get it worked out since. Oh wait, there you go. Did you make it?
I'm here. Yeah, I'm finding my headphones. And can you see me or no?
No, I can't see you yet, but I'm gonna trust you'll get on video, or you won't be. I gotta save Montana. How's it going today?
Oh, great.
Wait, there you go. Did you make it?
I'm here.
You are here? Wait. Let me just check the stream to make sure we are talking. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Oh, there we go. We got people on. As this thing. Wait, let me make sure.
Oh, I think I was the problem there. I was listening to us live.
Okay. You are here, and you even. Oops. 3 hostages just died while I was messing around with things. How bad is that?
Oh, no, that's terrible.
Okay, so Lisa Graft of Mother of the Year. We're going to talk a little bit about how to actually start a conference that people attend, because people think they can start a conference, but a lot of times they're not good at it. And then hopefully I will not totally, let humanity down here. All these innocent hostages in Montana that need my help while I talk to you. So
dire situation.
Okay, the beginning question is always, what is your level of video game experience?
I used to play Super Mario Brothers 3 on the original Nintendo.
I feel like that's where a lot of people fell off, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that game
it.
was so popular, and then like it just didn't translate somehow.
Yeah, well, they added too many buttons to the controllers, and so it was just like,
Yeah, lots of
yeah,
buttons.
if I have to push more than like the 4 and then the 2, I'm done. If there's A, B, and there's all the side buttons, it's just no thanks.
Okay. All right, so I kind of, the hook here was that you know how to run a conference, or you did it. So let's start there and work our way backwards. So
Okay.
you ran a conference people actually showed up to, they actually paid money to go to. How many steps did it take to get there, from idea of like, oh, I might have something to say to the world, to people will actually like pay me to do this?
Like a 10 million steps. It's all small steps, but then when they got together, then it became something that grew into a life of its own. Because it was right around the time I started the I Am Mother of the Year movement and Facebook community to encourage and equip moms, that the moms were like, hey, we should get together. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have capacity for that right now. Let me wait a year. And then I waited another 6 months. So it's been almost 2 years since this has been in my brain, and then a year full of planning from when it was last summer that I started I got connected with a girl who also wanted to do women's events. And then the next week I was on a podcast that this couple said, man, we really want to do events for all people, but women especially. And I was like, huh, maybe there's something to power in numbers. And so we combined forces that very next week. And then within 3 months, it was like a thing that took off and we never looked back.
Okay. Why don't you jump in? Hey, can you make sure we're on? I'm just not getting a stream on my phone. It looks like people are watching, but can you check it on another device?
I can't. Well, I can. Can you still see me if I'm doing this? I'm new to this whole Zoom thing. Let's see.
It looks like people are joining, so it looks like there's a thing.
Let's see. Yeah, we're on.
Okay, we're on.
We're doing
Okay,
it.
so let's go with what is Mother of the Year, because obviously it's a little bit in jest, right?
Yes. Oh, for sure. It started out of sarcasm and shame. One day when I was feeding my daughter peanut butter and jelly for the 3rd night in a row, and I was like, oh, yeah, you're Mother of the Year. You're really killing this mom game. And I said it because I thought it was a total failure. And it turned out that then the next day, when I also felt like a total failure for all the other reasons, I was like, oh, I wonder what I'm Mother of the Year for today. And so that kind of just turned into this like thing that I kept sarcastically giving myself. But it turns out that when you start looking for ways that you're failing, you can also start looking for the ways that you're not failing. And so that kind of turned into it's born in sarcasm, but has some deep meaning as well, that no matter what, you're Mother of the Year because you're doing the best you can. And so the philosophy is that if we can bring moms together to start learning how to celebrate themselves and each other, then we're going to have a lot more peace within our homes.
Got it. Okay, so this might drive you nuts, it might not. I don't know anybody that is less susceptible to like comparing themselves to others than me in the Strengths Finder test.
Oh,
My
yeah.
2 lowest strengths were competition and harmony. So when you
Okay.
put that together, I just don't care if people like me or not. Like, it just doesn't even register.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Sooner or later,
Yeah,
our resistance is gonna take off.
Am I supposed to hire this person? I guess I'll take a 4-wheeler.
Well,
Why not?
I hate driving anyway.
But I totally get the peer pressure thing, because I mean, I think it's pretty much everybody but me that's like that, I guess.
Yeah.
And it does seem to be that I don't know if in the modern era there's more of it, or there's just more like you have more opportunities to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I think part of it is social media driven, because now everybody they post their highlight reel, whereas generations ago they didn't do that because they didn't have the capacity or capability. But I think that's part of it. And then I think the demands of moms now are probably a lot greater than they were. And not to say that motherhood is easier. I think they're just more demands in a different way.
yeah. So you said, and that's the thing, is this is my 5th or 6th attempted some sort of media thing, and none of them did bad. They just weren't growing as fast as I wanted them to, or there was something else going on in my life. Like, the last podcast was a business podcast, but it was kind of, framed as me having my own business.
Right.
So it didn't make any sense when I went back into a gig to keep doing it, right?
Yeah.
But when people are like, they're like, oh, well, I've been doing blah, blah, blah. Part of it is you do need to hang in there at some point to, have enough critical mass that it makes sense. The other argument, though, is like, if people don't care, maybe they just don't care. I mean, maybe it's just not the right thing. And so sometimes you just have to kind of figure out if there's not an audience there, well, that's okay. Just time for the next thing, right?
Right.
But this resonated quickly.
Right. Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, the first time I ever wrote about it, I just framed it as a motherhood strategy. And so it was kind of framed as this is how you can kind of cope to get through your day. And that took off right away because moms were starting to share, oh my gosh, I didn't leave my coffee in the microwave this morning. Yeah, high five, And you start celebrating all of those small things, and it turns out that people like to feel celebrated. And some uncelebrated people, especially if you're raising babies and toddlers, it's just, you're not celebrated as a mom. People completely ignore you, and they go straight for your kid. And so it's, oh, Gucci, 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 Gucci. And then it's like, wait, but I'm here too. And then you start to lose yourself and lose your identity and become like, I became Josie's mom. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm also Lisa, and I want to stay that way too. And so I think that message hits with a lot of moms.
Okay, so that worked. By the way, I'm going to say something just, to offend people. Because I get so many people like, I get a ton of, could I pick your brain about something? And it's like, well, I mean, the problem with that is not even that I mind doing stuff for people. It's that people don't do it anyway. So what's the point?
Right. Yeah. Don't ask my advice if you're not going to follow it, at least.
It's kind of like working out. Like, is the problem with working out that you haven't found that perfect new plan, or is that you don't do it?
Well, right. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, doing anything is going to be better than doing nothing. So you could start with doing anything. That would be helpful.
Right.
But when people are like, oh, well, I'm trying this thing, or, whatever, honestly, 90% of the time it's, number one, there's just not a market there, or number two, you're just not a good enough writer or personality person, or you're in the wrong format. Like, you're a good writer, or you have a good idea, but you shouldn't be on video, and you're trying to be on video.
Right.
It's like back when I worked in radio, all these people would be like, oh, well, I own a business and I'm paying for the spot, so therefore I should voice my own commercial. And it's like, well, but you're bad at it.
Yeah, right. It sounds terrible.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all a rant to say, like, it's okay to just be like, I'm just going to bail on this.
Yeah, for sure. I started a baking business a long time ago before I had kids, and I was making cake pops, and I thought, this is my thing. I love this. And it turns out that, like, you know how many cake pops you have to sell to make a living? Like 1 million billion cake pops. And I'm like, no, I'm done. This is not my thing.
And then that's fine. When was that? Was that like when the economy was down?
No, it was like 2011, probably.
Okay.
And so it was just my first venture into maybe I have something to say, and I thought it was baking was my way to say something. And it turns out that's not really my voice, or the best use of my voice.
Yeah. Well, I would say too that, and that was still, 2011, we were still in recession mode, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And that's like what I wish people would get is like, that's cool. Like it just didn't happen. Like there's a lot of things I have tried that have not worked. This one happens to be working.
Right.
And so I keep doing it.
Yeah.
But that the people that are just hanging on, I think about music a lot because I've had so many people be like, oh, well, I've been an indie artist for X amount of years. And it's like, well, you know what? If your fan base isn't growing, either you don't understand the business of it,
right,
and I can't do that for you.
Yeah.
Or you just like, this just isn't it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's okay for this not to be it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to hear though.
Yeah, it's hard to hear, but it's better to hear that. It's a kinder thing for somebody to find that out. And what I never do is I never tell people like what their calling is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell them like why I see an issue or a barrier for them of like, I don't know about this, right?
Yeah.
And all I'm doing is putting words to what the market has already said.
Right.
Like the market already told you you're not that good. Just
Right.
you know, like you didn't have enough self-awareness there. Hey, there's another one. Did I do it? Okay. Now I gotta go blow up some drugs. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you know that you had enough people that would show up that would actually do a conference?
I don't think we ever knew. I think we just felt like we were doing it, and if you build it, they will come. That's kind of what we thought. But the more we started sharing our vision with people, the more people were like, "Oh yeah, we need that, we need that." And that vision was to create a women's event that didn't suck and wasn't precious, because we're all kind of awkward. We're like quirky, funny. We're Christian, but not like super Christians, conservative, and we're not like the bun wearing, jean skirt wearing people.
And nothing against those people. I doubt they're watching this video stream, if that's your vibe. But
it's not against them. It's just not who we are.
Yeah, no, but we saw some like bun wearing, very conservative type folks on Sunday. And I honestly, like, just because I hadn't kind of been in that world for a long time, I couldn't tell if they were just like hipster retro cool or if that was like their actual thing.
Yes. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah, but we just started sharing that vision. Like, we just want to create a space where you can come as yourself, get tons of resources, and then rest assured, like, this isn't a precious space. Like, you're not going to be made to feel less than by just existing in that chair, and so that's how we kind of expected people to come, and they did. They showed up, and we filled the room, which was incredible.
And you, I mean, to get a little, dang it, I died. To get a little, but the thing is, I die more when I talk to people, but that's also the part that's interesting. So, as far as filling the room, like how much, like, is it, I'm going to ask the hard part questions. Like, how much cash were you out if this thing tanked?
Yeah, we would have been out thousands of dollars because we committed ourselves to, like, this won't suck. So every detail will be thought of. And I was writing personal checks. Now, if, I think we were friends with the other speakers and the MCs and stuff. And so if we had said, hey, we're like 10 people are coming, we're losing money on this, can you waive your fee? They probably would have. But another pet peeve of mine in the Christian world is like, nobody wants to pay for your service. Like, just because you're a Christian means that you have to give your services or talents away for free. And so I did not want to do that either.
Yeah. So you pulled it off. You pulled it off, and then I mean, again, kind of awkward to talk about money, but the hardest thing for people, I think, that have a little bit of success is like, oh, I work so hard, now I get to buy myself something. And I'm like, not when you're early on. Like, no. That is years and years out. And that's, one of the top things that I've seen, I talked to a guy that had a part-time t-shirt printing business, and he bought himself a Porsche, and he had a day job, and it's like, he's like, yeah, the business went under. Yes, the business went under. You bought a Porsche. What did you think was going to happen?
Into the business, not into your ride. Yeah. No, we didn't make a ton of money, so we barely broke even. But that seemed like a success for us because expenses are always going to be high your first time.
Yeah.
And then we have plans already to take it on the road. So then there's other things that we are, that we need. We'll be able to lower the cost of tickets and hopefully sell more of them. And, it all kind of works itself out. But none of us took money from the pot.
Yeah. And it's like, was it more work than getting married? Like, as far as like planning a wedding or not? Probably, I'm guessing.
For sure. And I kind of cared more about it than getting married, than the wedding, not the marriage, obviously. But it's like, I'm throwing this, I want everybody to dance at my wedding and they're going to get chicken and it just is what it is. But like, this, like, we really wanted it to be life-changing for everybody that came, and so the pressure was so much greater than, oh, I hope my dress looks okay on the way down the aisle, you know?
Yeah. And well, I just take that because that's the thing people think of as being, like, if you do the whole, like, oh, well, you know, oh my gosh, I'm planning a wedding right now. It's like you get, like, kind of a hall pass on just everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, it's like, oh, okay, well, you don't have to do anything, and this is 10 times that, but people aren't as sympathetic, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you do a little bit of how-to, if that's cool. And
Yeah.
you know, like I said, the first thing is, you know, can I do a conference? Like, you know, I don't know that you can do a conference, so this is not a an endorsement that people care
Right.
enough for you to do that. But
That's true.
how big was your email list before you attempted it? Just kind of all that practical stuff, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, before you said you didn't know, but if you had an email list of 5, you knew that you're probably not going to get more than 5 people.
Right, exactly. Yes. So my platform is, I've got almost, I think we maybe just have crossed over 4,000 in the Mother of the Year Facebook group. And that is around the country, but like the biggest hub of it is in Indianapolis. And so that following was good. And then my email list is only like 550 people, which is still, I mean, good enough, but that's not a successful list by any means. I mean, 10,000 is the number you need to shoot for to have any influencer success, according to the internet. You know, 'cause people
Who decided that?
people just get to make rules and then you just follow them because they're like, oh, I am instantly a failure. But then combining forces with the other people, they all had one girl didn't have an email list at all. And then the other couple had probably a couple hundred on their email list. But we didn't have a ton of email lists, but we just have a lot of good community connections. And we've all discovered that people value our voice.
Okay, so 2 comments real quick.
Yeah.
Number 1, I got to respond to a comment. Denny Glute said, I don't understand how Seth can continually play the game while maintaining insightful conversations. And I'd just like to add that I also get my lunch eaten during this time, which, you know, if you're going to be impressed by something, I'm also able to eat lunch.
Yes.
But did you share this video or anything? Because I think this is the biggest stream so far. So either you shared it or people know who you are and care, or they all want to throw a conference. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Can I share it now? I didn't share it, but
Yeah, it's on my personal page and my
oh, okay. Yeah, I'll
public
share it
page
now.
or whatever. So
I'm learning all these things.
yeah, Facebook Live is seriously where it's at. Like, I'm, you know, for my day job, I'm working on some stuff as well to, you know, kind of in the B2B space, how it works.
Yeah.
And even as trust in brands is like going down or whatever, there's something about Facebook Live that people trust it more because like it can't be edited. Just like whatever it is, it is.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It helps with your know, like, and trust factor.
Yes. So on the, let's talk about how you narrowed in on this, right? Because I think the number one thing, including myself, that throws people off a lot of times is just honestly that they're not focused enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you, because everybody has this idea of like, oh, well, 2019 is going to be the year of Jesse or whatever your name is, right?
Right.
I didn't think I friends with anybody named Jesse. I don't know where that came from. So how did you write it down? How did you narrow your focus down to where this actually got done?
We just started meeting, and each of the speakers had a niche, and it just turns out like that the niche makes sense when you put it together. So the first speaker is like finding and valuing your voice, and then you go into me, and I'm an expert on truth and lies, and then the next girl was an expert.
Wait. I mean, now you got to back that up because.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, you said it. I'm not judging you either way. You said it.
Yes, I feel like if you have 10,000 hours on something, again, according to the internet, 10,000.
Oh my gosh! I mean, how much did you lie to get 10,000 hours?
Well, yeah, it's just about the lies you believe in your head.
Okay.
And so I spend way more than 10,000 hours with myself trying to figure out and decipher the voices in my head. So that somehow makes me an expert of truth and lies. And so that's what I talk about all the time, about finding freedom from the lies you believe and replacing them with the truth about who you are.
Okay. Legit. I didn't expect that, so I didn't know where you were gonna go with that thing.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, and I released a journal about truth and lies, and that's what I write mostly about and speak mostly about. And so, yeah, so that's kind of my area of expertise that I'm leaning into right now. And then the girl after me is a freedom expert. She's a certified freedom coach, and she escaped the evil trap of an eating disorder. But then that translates into anything that holds you captive. And then our last couple, they run a Love Better podcast and movement. And so all of those things kind of like when you stack them up, we're like, oh, that makes sense. That's a perfect order. So we just started there like, okay, now we know what we're going to speak about. The hardest thing was picking a name. And that was like, once we picked the name, then that's how everything kind of came together when it's named. And so our first name, like we went on and on and on with like refresh and rejuvenate. We're like, it's not a skincare line, and all of those things sound really precious, which we promised people we were not going to be. And so we came up with Reset Yourself from Parks and Rec, treat yourself, right? So we all we loved it and like full steam ahead on Reset Yourself. And then we got an email from a biracial woman who said, you're all white people and you can't just borrow something from another culture and not even represent their voice. And so we're like, that's probably true. So in our ignorance, it was a huge, it was so hurtful, but it was a lesson learned, we need to learn how to be more intentionally inclusive. And so that's something we're going to work on moving forward. But we changed the name from Reset Yourself to Reset.
Okay. I got to swap out my person here. I didn't realize you'd done that. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which we loved Reset Yourself so much.
Hold on, I'm on my way.
Obviously for the greater good, and then the longevity of the conference, we were like, Reset's probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, because otherwise it's like called it like the swag conference or something that will one day be featured on VH1 is,
Let's do this shit.
Exactly.
a very dated phrase.
Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about how you got it done. You got 2 kids, you got a job,
Yep.
blah 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 blah. Most people, I mean, I hear that all the time, like, oh, I don't have time for whatever. And usually people don't, and again, myself included, but it's because you do too many things.
Yeah. I was definitely in a season of doing too many things. For sure. It was all consuming. And so I was working, my kids go to bed at 7, so I would be working, all day and night.
By the way, if you could be an expert on that, I would totally show up for that.
How to do all the things?
No, just getting your kid to go to bed at 7.
Oh, good. Oh, 7. Yeah, it's Dream right there. We did Baby Wise. You should check that out.
Okay.
Yeah, the Baby Wise thing. Mm-hmm. And
Maybe on the next one. I think this one's kind of got her sleep schedule vibe down right now. So.
Yeah. Oh, 7 o'clock. That's the dream right there.
So you just basically cranked it out. Did you hang out with your friends? Did you do anything else?
Yeah, here's the good, the bad, and the ugly. I maintained everything I was already doing. And so I have a regular Monday night girls group, and we watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I work, I do the radio show, I write every week for Mother of the Year, and then on top of it, I just added in this Reset event. And the thing that saved us is that I'm kind of a doer, but I'm more in a dreamer phase right now. And so the other girls that we did the conference together, they're dreamers as well. So the thing that saved us, and I would tell anyone, get a doer. Get someone who lives and breathes to-do lists and checklists and color codes, all the things, because that saved us. So we had, one of my best friends, Jen, is a master ninja doer. And so she's the one that ran our meetings, kept us focused, handled the event the day of, communicated with the vendors, every detail, logistical detail, she took care of. And so that was the saving grace for us.
Okay. By the way, down to like our last 10 minutes, I haven't eaten 3/4 of my oatmeal / protein powder, which is what I do for lunch every day.
That sounds satisfying.
No, there is something about I just keep following this, I guess. When I got the comment of how do I do all these things, I'm not doing particularly well today, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe that means the conversation is better. But whenever you're starting any kind of new venture, a book called Predictable Success, which is a study of businesses getting turned around. One of the things you always need is basically like the MacGyver person that can take like 2 pieces of tape and like a wire hanger and like make a car out of it, basically.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
You know, and I'm a little bit that person. That's probably not where I live the most.
Right.
I've been a couple good friends that just say like, you know, I'm an operations person. I don't want to start anything. I want to work on something great and like roll. I don't want to do kind of like, you know, vision and everything.
Yeah.
And that is a very, very good thing to have on your crew.
Yeah.
So as far as what happens next, then, I mean, the idea of a tour, like, there's one thing to do in your hometown where you can kind of personally pull like a lot of people in.
Right.
Like you can, you know, kind of grind it out and sell.
Yeah.
But when you don't have that, when it's just like you show
Right,
up
like
in Grand Rapids,
Facebook ads. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot scarier, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Okay.
and that's why we aren't even talking about that yet. Like our next tour stop is hopefully going to be in Bourbonnais, you know,
Okay.
where I grew up. You know, so I still have people there, and I think a huge pull.
Yeah. So the next thing is to do another little thing, then, right? And so
Yes.
what's the timing on this? Like, how long do you wait between? How do you roll? I gotta eat.
Yeah, I think by the time we do it in India again, I think we're gonna just wait another year to make it an annual fall thing, and then we're looking at the end of January. So we'll have just a few months lead time, and it just is gonna be what it's gonna be. And that's the other part of it is like, it's not. If 10 people show up and we do a really great job for 10 people, like it's not a failure. You know, it's not as big of a win as we would want or expect, but you know, we can't control the outcome. We can only control our effort.
Yes, absolutely. So how is your energy level? Like, how are you doing at sustaining this pace? And have you, when you said you were doing too many things, did you cut some things or no?
Yeah, I'm. Well, yes. So now that reset's over, that's basically freed up a lot of my mental capacity and time. And then I'm taking a step back from. I'm doing a lot of the stuff for like organizing and scheduling and stuff like that for our radio show and podcast. And starting next week, I'm handing that off to somebody else. And so I'll still be on the radio show and I do our social media and stuff, but my hours will go way down. And then, yeah, those are the things that come most easily to me anyway. And so it'll just feel a lot lighter.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, final 5 minutes, rapid fire questions here.
Hit me.
What is one thing you totally screwed up the first time around that you're gonna fix next time? Running a conference, running an event.
The name. Yeah, yes, naming it the wrong thing, and being ignorant in that department, for sure.
Did anything happen that made the audience's eyes glaze over and you knew it was a total miss?
We had, if I'm honest, because the couple that we have talk at the end, they're so chill. They're like, their message is amazing, it's on point, but their energy is just like, they were on stools, they were chilled out, you know, but like when you have high energy, lunch, high energy, like they brought it down for a really soft landing, and what women wanted and or expected at the end was like, yeah, we're women, let's go, you know. And so we didn't deliver the big punch at the end. So already we're gonna add a closer to our lineup.
Right, to hype it up.
Yeah.
Where do you need to focus more on social media before you do the next one?
We probably need to start a social media, like, we have the names reserved, but we have not done a single post, like, from the brand. And so I think that's probably the next step, is figuring that out.
That does seem like a big one.
Yeah, like maybe the only one.
The road. I'll do the rest.
Okay, so how's your weird experience? Have you actually been watching any of the video or no?
No, I'm just looking at your face.
Okay.
And my tiny face.
Okay, so yeah, the game, the premise is that this cult has taken over the county of Montana, and you're trying to save everybody.
Ew.
And they're putting heroin in the water and like all this crazy stuff. But you also like can do like little side quests. So I'm trying to hunt a moose right now because
Oh, yeah. Why not?
moose meat or something. So
Yeah.
okay, anything else that you tanked on that got you here? Like what else did you fail at that made this work?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like there's so many little tiny failures that I've probably forgotten most of them. But I think it's just been about narrowing down my voice and not being scared of it. And so, yeah, I'm like a big responder to fear. And so if I'm scared of something, then that usually means I should lean into it more, but I tend to just run away from it, procrastinate on it for a long time. And so I think that's probably one of the biggest areas of failure or weakness for me is like, man, if I have a good idea, I should just go for it instead of sit on it and sit on it and sit on it and then let somebody else do it and then compare myself to them and, start the whole spiral.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're the most popular, so maybe you'll do this again in 2 or 3 months because we got really good viewership. I think that's got to be it for me because I got to go back to work.
Working.
I know. Next time I'll have to make sure you can see the screen so we can make stupid comments about what I'm doing. So.
Oh yeah, I would like to see the moose.
Oh, there you are. Did it feel that much different than a regular podcast since I was? No. Okay. Gotcha. I guess I have just become that much. I've got the 10,000 hours into video games and talking to myself, apparently, so now I can talk to other people.
There you go. See, you're an expert.
I'll share this back up with your socials, but you want to shout them out right now so that we can do that?
Yeah. I'm at Lisa Graft on Instagram and Facebook. And then if you're a mom, you can join the Facebook group, I Am Mother of the Year. There's a business page you could follow, and then the group you could join.
Gotcha. Thanks, guys. This is a big one. See you later.
All right.